I'll just introduce myself properly. So I'm Sophie, I'm one of the Client Success Managers here at Perfect Portal. So welcome to today's webinar. I know how busy you all are, so today's webinar should only take around 30 minutes. If you do have any questions on any of the aspects I'm covering today, there will be a question and answer section at the end, so you can submit any questions using the tab at the bottom of the screen. I am going to make sure I aim to answer all questions, but if there's anything that needs to be looked into a little bit further, I'll make sure someone comes back via email with a response after the session. So for today's webinar, I'm just going to be running through the inquiries feature with you. So I'm conscious that we have covered this aspect of the system previously in webinars, but we've always had a really fantastic response to that. So we thought it would be quite beneficial to just take you through the full process, step by step, just to make sure everyone knows how it works and that it's available to you more than anything. So I'm going to share my screen in a second, but I'm just going to be taking you through some of the basics, how you can generate an inquiry, how to get that set up, and also how to request other matter types. So just bear with me, I'm just going to move my screen across now into the portal. Okay, so our inquiries feature is a really fantastic tool, and essentially it allows you to utilise the portal on all other areas of law, so not just conveyancing. Obviously, with the current situation, conveyancing for some people has slowed down a little bit, so this is a really great time for you to start utilising the portal for other matter types. We've also recently heard from one of our clients that their will inquiries have increased by 75% over the last few months with everything happening with COVID. So even if conveyancing has dropped off a little bit, this is a really great time for you to focus on other areas of law. So first of all, if you would like to enable this feature, then just get in touch with your Client Success Manager, let us know, and we can enable this for you. The inquiries feature allows you to capture the client details and send out a summary of services document, so that not only helps the client learn a little bit more about the services that you can offer, it also allows you to send out some forms for them to complete so that you can learn a little bit more about their situation and consequently provide them with a much more informative quote. So there's a wide range of matter types available within this feature. So some of those I'm going to be covering today. But if there is any additional matter types that you don't see available but would like to utilise, then please just let us know and we can look into creating those for you. It's also just worth mentioning that this aspect of the system is included within your current package, so there won't be any additional charge for this. So the first thing you'll need to do once the inquiry feature has been enabled is to actually create your inquiry document. So to do this, the first thing you're going to need to do is just go into your settings section. You can then go into Setup and Manage. And then once we've enabled this feature, you will have Inquiry List. So if we just click into Inquiry List, so you can see we've got some of the matter types split across the top there. So as I've said, that's just some of the ones that we've got available. For today, I'm going to be doing a single will because that's one I created earlier. Okay, so you can see here, I've already set up some templates. You can have as many templates as you want. So in order to create a template, all you'll need to do is click on the Add Another Inquiry Template tab. So if I just click into the one that I've created already. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite basic. All you'll need to do first of all is just give your inquiry template a name. So just something to differentiate so that you know what it is. Obviously, you may just have the one. So for example, you might just have a will template, but if you're going to have different ones, so for example, we've got standard and premium, just have a name that differentiates. You've then got the cover and end sheets. So I'll show you those in a second. Now, if you are going to enable this feature, then we are happy to create some additional versions of your cover and end sheets so that they're a little bit less conveyancing focused and a little bit more appropriate for other areas of law. Just let us know if you want to enable that, and then you'll also have your inquiry template document. Now this is the most important aspect of setting up your inquiries. So you can see we've already added one in here, so I'll show you that in a moment, but essentially you can just upload this directly from your files, so you can create it in Word. If you need any support on creating this, then again, just let us know and we can help you with that. But you can then just upload it directly from your files. And if I just go onto the preview, I'll just show you how that'll all fit together. Just give it a moment. Okay, so obviously we've got the cover sheet and the end sheet in there, so they just bookend it, but then we've got the summary of services document. So As you can see, this just contains some details about the service that you're offering. We've just created this one as an example, but as I've said, if you need any assistance with creating your own version, just let us know and we can support on branding. We can also send you this version as a starting point as well, but it's quite possible that you'll already have something similar. Just needs to contain a little bit of information about the service. You can also add some information in there about pricing, as well as any notes in there about why you use your firm. And as well, if you utilise our enhanced license and you have our branded app, we can also include the app banner in that as well. So you can just make sure that your clients are aware that you have that available for them. So once you've done that, you'll then need to create the email template to go out alongside your summary of services documents. So to do that, you'll just need to click into quote email list. Now, again, we've created one for you, but this is very similar to your conveyancing quote email templates. So as you can see, if I just click into that now, you've got the content box just on the right-hand side there. So you can literally just free type in the wording that you want. We've already added a default template in here as an example, so you're welcome to use this as a starting point, or this is all fully customizable, so you can just free type in. If we just go to the settings, you can see here you can also give the template a name. So again, just something to differentiate because you've got the option to then select that. If you're going to have more than one template, obviously you may want an initial email to go out and then have a chaser email template. Just make sure you've named those with appropriate names so that you're able to pick them out from the list. You can then select the design. So again, we'll create this for you, but if you've got any sort of ideas that you'd like us to include, any specific imagery, just send that through to us and we can create a specific design to go outside your inquiry documents. And then you'll just need to tick this on for who you want it to go out to, so both private and referred inquiries. And then just lastly, you've got the option to add in some attachments. So if I just go to the attachments section here, if you're familiar with the conveyancing side of things, you'll probably already know how this aspect works, but essentially you can just click on the Add Attachment tab and upload any documents right from your files. So the inquiry PDF will attach as a default. In order to make a document default, all you'll need to do is just click on it and you can see that that's got the outline now. If I just unclick, the outlines disappeared. So that's how you differentiate between what is a default attachment and what is just going to be optional for you to select from. And one of the other default attachments that we've got is a wills questionnaire. So this is actually a really good time to send out any type of retainer questionnaire that you might have, any client form fill. This then allows you to obtain quite important information from the outset, and it'll also just help to make the client journey a little bit smoother at the point of conversion, because you won't need to get back in touch with them to capture those details after the point of instruction. So you can also include any additional attachments. We've got our app advert in there, but if you've got anything else you'd like to include, like a jargon buster or anything like that, then you've got the option to do that. So it's as simple as that to set it up. So once you've done that, that's basically all the hard work that you've got to do. So what I'm going to move on to next is actually generating an inquiry. So to do this, you'll need to go on the big plus in the top left-hand corner. So exactly the same as how you would do it for conveyancing. Once we've enabled this feature on your account, you will have, in addition to your new quote, the new inquiry option. So if I just click on that, you'll just get this screen here where you can see some of the matter types that we have available for you. So as you can see, it's very similar to conveyancing. You can just select the relevant matter type. However, as I mentioned earlier, you can see that some of those matter types we have available in front of you, but it's worth mentioning that this list isn't extensive. So if there is a matter type that you'd like that you don't see currently, just get in touch with your client success manager and we can look at enabling that for you. You can also request a new matter type by selecting the Add More tab. And then all you need to do is just select the name of the matter type that you'd like to create, and then you can also give a brief description. Once you've done that, you can just click send, and that will just send through a request to myself and the client success team, where we'll then be able to liaise with development to get this created if we don't already have it available. So I'm just going to close that down now and go back to generating the inquiry. So obviously we've just set up the option and the template for wills. So if I just open that up, Okay, so as you can see, this is very similar to conveyancing. You can just run through and add in your client details as you normally would. And you can also select your referrer. So you can see they would just got the list of referrers, so you can just select the right person from the list. Once you've done that, you can then allocate your user and your lead source as you normally would. The only difference is within the template. So you can see here we've got the option to select a template. So if I just click on that drop down, you've then got the option for the 2 templates that we saw earlier. So we created the standard will. So you can just click on that option and then generate inquiry. So if I just click into the one I've generated earlier and go into the overview, so you can have a little look at that. So you can see here we've got the client contact details just on the left hand side there as always, and these are all amendable by clicking on the edit contact tab. We've then got the inquiry preview just on the other side of your screen here, and you can see we've actually added a BB code in there as well, so it's automatically going to populate the client's information just to help make it that little bit more personal. And also then you've got all your information on the service that you're offering. So once you've done that, you've still got all the same functionality within your Actions sidebar. So you've got obviously the option to add notes, your new activity, you've got the option to set reminders, and then you've also got both your conversion and your decline features as you would with conveyancing. But once you're happy, you can just email that out to your clients. So you can see here we've got the email template we created there. And then you've also got your default documents. So if I just click on that drop down, you can see that we've got the inquiry PDF, we've got our app banner, and then we've also got our wills questionnaire. So once you're happy with that, you can just send the email. So again, one I've sent earlier, let me just open up my emails and I'll show you how that comes through to your client. So you can see here, we've got the body of the email just set up. Obviously, you've got all your BB codes in there, so it's going to populate the client's information, and you've also got the request a callback button. So the request a callback option works in exactly the same functional way as the instruct button. We've just changed up the wording a little bit so that it's more appropriate. Obviously, with inquiries, you may not need to instruct straight away. You may want to have a conversation with the client first. So that wording just makes a little bit more sense, but obviously you have the option to amend that at any time. So if you wanted to change it to instruct now, you've got the option to do so. Now, if we just open up the PDF so that you can see how that will come through to your client. Oh, apologies, that's not come through properly. We'll also just open up the will questionnaire, and then I'll just show you how that will come through to your client with the PDF. So you can see we've got a questionnaire here. So this is just your form fill. So obviously this is optional. With certain areas of law, you may not want to include this, but it's completely up to you. And as you can see, it just allows you to capture some vital information there. So you can just see straight away where you're up to with the case, and you know all that information from the outset. Obviously, you can customize this completely, but we're happy to send you this as a example, and then you can use it as a base. So if we just close that down. Now I'm just going to go back into the portal, and I'm just going to talk to you briefly about key stages. So let me just jump back in there. Okay, so if I just go back into the overview here, I'll just give you a quick preview of how it will come through to the client, just so you can see that in full. So if we click on the print tab here, this is how it will come through to your client. So obviously you'll have your nice front sheet here. You'll then have your summary of services document, and then you've got your nice end sheet as well, just to bookend it with your testimonials and all your contact information. So if the client wanted to go ahead, obviously they've got the option to click the instruct button or the request a callback, and you can then go to convert your case as you normally would. So obviously you just convert that as normal. I've already done that, so I won't take you through that, but it's exactly the same functionality. And if you're integrated, it'll push through all that information. So I'm just going to go into the key stages screen here. So you have exactly the same functionality with your key stages, and you also have the option of the notes feature, which allows you to send messages to your contacts on the file, and if you've got our branded app, you'll have the chat feature as well, so that just allows you to initiate conversation with your client. This is initiated by you and can be used as standalone, or if you're integrated, you'll also have the option to do this via your case management system. We don't have all our integrations immediately available, but if you are integrated with your case management system, you'll be able to update your key stages directly from there. So in order to update a key stage, all it is the send update. So I've done that one already. So I'm just going to do the next one and send that through. So once you've updated a key stage, you can see it's just going to mark off there as completed with the date and time stamp. So that's going to go out to the client. And then if I just go back into my email there, I'll just show you what this does. So when you update your first key stage, it's going to do a couple of things. So the first thing is send out the activation email, which you can just see in front of you now. So this just explains to the client how they can activate the client portal and app if you've got our app. All they need to do is click on the activate account button, and this will give them an option to set a password and log directly into the client portal, which I'll show you in a moment. In addition to that activation email, it's also going to send out the key stage update email, which again, you can see in front of you here. So this just has the update on the case, and then they've also got the login to view case button. So if they've not already activated their account, it won't say login, it'll automatically just say activate. So it's going to keep pushing them to do that. Once they've activated, the wording will then automatically update to login. So it's just a nice way to prevent any confusion. Now I'm just going to go into our client portal here so you can see what that looks like. So once your client has activated their account, they can then log into the client portal, and this is what they're going to see. So as I've only updated one key stage so far, you can just see that progression bar has pushed across slightly. And then if we scroll down, they've got the latest update up at the top. And if you've personalized your key stages, that message is going to be fully customized. If we go down a little bit further, they can then see the case progress. So you can see we've got the latest update up at the top, and that's ticked to show it's completed. And then if we just scroll down a little bit further, you can see all the other steps throughout the process. So it's just a really nice way to manage your client's expectations, make sure that they understand the process from the outset. It also just gives them comfort that you're working on their case, and they can also know what is to come. So they can see how many steps are left in that process. So it's just a nice way to give them full understanding. Hopefully, it's potentially going to reduce your inbound traffic as well on calls and emails, because they know where their case is up to. They don't need to get in contact with you to check that. Okay, so that's sort of the overview of the full process. Now, just to show you a couple more options we've got, I'm just going to go back into the portal now. And I'm just going to go to our dashboard here. So another one of the really good benefits with this is it allows you to keep track of your inquiries. So one of the dashboard tiles that we have available is this other work tile here. So this just allows you to see the split between your private work and your referred for all other areas of law. And then you can also see the split between what is won, what is in your pipeline, and what is lost. Now, if I also just go to the control center here, you've also got a small infographic available, which is just this one here. If we click into it, which just shows your conversion rates. So you can see you've got the date filter up at the top with that, and you can also export that into Excel if need be. And you've just got all your case details, and you can view the conversion statistics as well. So it's just a really nice way to keep on top of that. Now, that's all we need to cover in terms of how the inquiries work. But one other thing to mention is our new release that we have coming this week. So what that is, it's a lead capture that can come from your website, and it's available for other matter types. So this is going to work in a similar way to our existing website calculator. It allows the client, to enter their details and then send an inquiry through to a nominated member of staff, should they be interested in using your firm for other areas of law. So that is coming this week, and our marketing team are going to be sending out some information on that. So keep your eyes peeled, but I know a lot of people are quite excited about that. So I just thought I'd let you know in advance, just in case anyone wanted to know a bit more about it. So unfortunately, I can't show it to you just yet because it's not live, but that is coming soon. So keep that in mind. So that's everything we're going to be covering for today. So we're going to have a quick question and answer session now. So does anyone have any questions at all?
Before we cover the questions, I just wanted to mention one thing. I know Sophie showed the callback button earlier in the email. What we did last week, we released a new enhancement. So you can have two different types of buttons, instruct now as well as callback. Of course, you can, the buttons, that's what they're called, but you can change the language. What it is, if you say request a callback, as soon as the client clicks on it, it takes them to another page where it asks them to confirm their details. Because a lot of time what happens is, consumers, they just go in and they click something, but they don't really know what they clicked. Or they might have added incorrect phone number. So it gives them another opportunity to confirm their details with that request callback button. As well as with the instruct now, once they click, you have two options. Again, working on the email to send out to everyone. With the instruct now process, you'll have two options. One is the basic. So when a client clicks on the instruct now button, they can just go to the next screen and confirm the instruction. Or there's an advanced filter where they just you ask them to confirm rest of their transaction details, just so you give them another chance to change that if they would like to do it from let's say website calculator. So there's a couple of enhancements just on those buttons, as well as the dashboard tiles. I know inquiries is something that we've been working on this year, and it's picked up quite quickly, and so we're working on some new reporting on that, which will be released over the next few months as the different projects finish up. But just wanted to let you know that with the buttons, I know a lot of the time that's what a lot of the firms requested, was just another prompt for the client to either confirm their details or add additional information. Fantastic. So we have a lot of questions. We'll go through them. There is, let me see, there's a call.
So, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sophie, go on. So one of the questions in there was, will there be any additional costs associated with using the new matter types functionality? So the answer to that is no. There's no additional cost. This is included within your current package. The only thing you might want to think about is obviously if you're branching it out to different departments, you may need some additional licenses for that. But in terms of enabling it, there's no additional charge on that. Someone else has asked what the turnaround on new matter type requests is. So this really just depends on workload, but it's generally around the 2-week point. Chances are we've probably got it set up already. So if you have a matter type that you want and that you didn't see during the webinar, then just get in touch with us and we can look at whether or not we've already got that available for you.
Perfect. And then does the report split into matter types? Yes, it does. There is a column which shows the inquiry type. So then you can export that list into Excel, and then you can just filter it with different matters if you would just like to focus on wills or probate or anything in particular. But again, reporting is something that we're working on for enhancements, just so you can get a little bit more reporting on inquiries.
Definitely.
Some of the previous questions that we had that we just answered. One was webinar recording. Yes, we will be sending that across to everyone afterwards, just so you can take a look, and if you have any questions, you can let us know. And do all matter types integrate with LEAP? Yes, they do at the moment. And then we had another question about SOS. With SOS, it's just conveyancing for time being, but we are working with our clients to kind of push it forward for other matter types. So if that's something that you would like to involve with, please let your account manager know and we can do that. I know Sophie mentioned that we have other matter types live. Just to give you an example of what our firms are using Perfect Portal Inquiries feature for, we have private children's proceedings live, trust, we have enduring power of attorney, grant of lease extension, estate general, personal injury, workers' compensation, just quite a few, drink driving, miscellaneous drug driving, drug offense. There's quite a few actually that firms are using it for. So it's harder to go through the entire list, but purchase of a business, sale of a business. So because it's quite basic the way the inquiry feature works, where you put your templates in, so you can use it for any meta type that you like.
Yeah, and obviously, just to mention as well, you've also got the option to create multiple different templates as well. So for example, with divorce, you may have different price banding depending on the inquiry type. So you can actually split it out so you've got multiple different templates for that as well. Someone else has asked whether they can have a list of the full matter types that we have available. So what I'll do, I'll send that through to anyone who's interested. So if you would like that list, just let me know, or let your client success manager know, and we can send that through to you, no problem.
Perfect. There's another question about the cost. No, there's no cost associated with using the additional new matter type functionality. It's just whether or not if you will require more users to access the system to send out quotes, because every firm is set up differently. I know some firms have new business teams that only use the system. Some firms it's all fee earners, and or they have few different people in different departments. So it all depends on the way that you have your portal and your firm set up. Somebody did request the list as well. So what I'll do, I'll include a link to the list in the email with the webinar recording and the matter types that we have currently live. And again, please don't let that hold you, because you just request a matter type. You just have to kind of allocate an icon, and the development team have to push it through the system. So we can push any matter live. It just takes about 2-week time to put it in our pipeline. But I'll send you what we currently have live for other firms.
Perfect. Someone else has just asked about with referrers, are they able to add things like word of mouth and social media? Now that would work a little bit differently to your referrers. That would be what we refer to as a lead source. So it works in exactly the same as how you have it for conveyancing currently. The lead sources, we add some options in for you as a default. So things like a recommendation, Google, referred by a friend. But that list is fully customizable as well. So if you've got any specific advertising that you want to keep track of, you can customize that list so that when you generate the inquiry, you'd select the lead source, and obviously you can customize that so you can add as many or as few options as you want.
Perfect. And then somebody asked which meta types integrate with Partner for Windows. We have all the metas that can integrate with P4W. So that's all good there. I want to make sure that is about it, I think. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact your client success team, or just help desk at perfectportal.co.uk. We're more than happy to jump on a Zoom call. But again, with the inquiries feature, it is picking up quite a bit, and we're in the middle of strategy right now for our next third, and we are working on a few different new enhancements on this feature. So we're working with for some firms as well, just to trying to figure out what works best and what's something that we can roll out across all of our clients. And if you have Perfect Update as well, you can use that app to communicate and use key stages to communicate with your clients for other matter types as well. It's not just for conveyancing.
Okay, well, thank you so much for everyone for joining us. As Satu said, if you've got any other questions, or if you are looking to enable this, then let us know and we can set up a follow-up Zoom to run through this with you and actually get it set up on your account. So if you are interested, just let us know.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for joining. Take care. Bye.